We look up at the night sky and wonder. We stare into the vastness of the universe and see stars, planets, galaxies, a tapestry too massive for the human mind to fully comprehend. And yet, there is something oddly familiar about our solar system. The comfort of knowing where things are, how they move, and what to expect. But what if that comfort is an illusion? What if the solar system we know is not complete? What if there are planets, real physical objects, orbiting our sun, hiding in the darkness beyond the veil of public science? And what if the agencies that monitor our skies know more than they let on? This is not conspiracy. This is not science fiction. This is a growing scientific question, backed by mathematical anomalies, astrophysical oddities, and decades of silence from institutions that may have their reasons for saying nothing. This is a story about the hidden planets NASA doesn't talk about, and what they might be hiding. Part 1, the case of the missing planet. Let's begin with a mystery that dates back centuries. Astronomers have long noticed gravitational perturbations, strange deviations in the orbits of known planets, particularly Uranus and Neptune. These deviations are subtle but persistent. It's as if something unseen is tugging at them. Early on, this led to the discovery of Neptune itself in the mid-1800s. It was found not because it was observed directly, but because its gravitational influence betrayed its presence. This method of discovery gave rise to a powerful idea. What else might be out there, silently shaping the paths of the outer solar system without being seen? This idea led to a hypothesis, Planet X. Part 2, Planet X, a name that refuses to die. Planet X isn't just one idea. It's a placeholder, a stand-in for something we can't yet detect but feel in the math. It's the X in the equation of the cosmos, and it's haunted astronomy for over 100 years. In 2016, Caltech astronomers Konstantin Batygin and Mike Brown published a compelling paper suggesting the presence of a large planet, possibly 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth, lurking far beyond Neptune in a distant elliptical orbit. This wasn't science fiction. It was based on the highly unusual orbits of a group of icy bodies in the Kuiper Belt. These objects, such as Sedna and 2012 VP-113, appear to be clustered in a way that suggests gravitational shepherding by something massive. That something became the revived Planet X, rebranded now as Planet 9. But where is it? Despite increasing evidence of its influence, direct detection has remained elusive. Infrared sky surveys like WISE should have seen it if it were warm. But what if it isn't? What if this planet is cold, dark, and distant enough to escape current detection? Or what if it's not a planet at all? Part 3, Brown Dwarfs, Rogue Planets, and Nemesis. Here the theories become more exotic. Some researchers speculate that the hidden planet may not be a planet in the traditional sense at all. Instead, it could be a brown dwarf, a failed star, too small to ignite fusion, but massive enough to influence planetary orbits gravitationally. If this were true, then our sun may have a binary companion, a twin. This idea isn't new. It's called the Nemesis Hypothesis. Proposed in the 1980s, Nemesis was suggested as a distant, unseen star on a wide orbit around the sun. Its role? To disturb the Oort cloud and periodically send comets plunging toward Earth, possibly explaining mass extinction cycles. The hypothesis was largely dismissed for lack of evidence. But what if we simply weren't looking in the right way? What if a low-mass, ultra-cold brown dwarf companion, thousands of times farther out than Pluto, was still gravitationally bound to our solar system, but invisible to our most sensitive instruments? A ghost in the darkness, an interstellar twin our sun may have quietly carried for billions of years, and still NASA remains quiet. Part 4. Why would they hide it? At this point we must pause and ask, why would any organization, even NASA, choose not to talk about this? There are several possibilities, some mundane, others less so. The first is caution. Astronomy is a science that moves slowly and cautiously. Until there is direct evidence, no agency will declare a new planet. Announcing it prematurely, especially if it turns out to be a false alarm, would damage credibility. But there's a second reason, and it involves us. If a massive object, say 10 times Earth's mass, were found to be on a long-period orbit that occasionally brings it into the inner solar system, would the public panic? Would religious institutions see it as an omen? Would financial markets interpret it as destabilizing? Would fringe theorists run wild? The potential for misinformation, fear, and societal disruption might give space agencies pause. Better to quietly gather data, build models, and delay public discourse until absolutely necessary. And there is historical precedent for such caution. Part 5, the infrared mystery. In the early 1980s, NASA's OSIRIS mission, Infrared Astronomical Satellite, conducted one of the first all-sky infrared surveys. Within its data, anomalies were found, sources that didn't correspond to known stars, galaxies, or objects. For a brief moment, speculation erupted. The Washington Post even ran a story in 1983 titled, "Mystery Heavenly Body Discovered." The excitement was quickly dampened. NASA later explained these sources as distant galaxies or cold dust clouds, but the damage, or revelation, was done. Some believe NASA found something and chose silence. Others argue it was merely early data misinterpretation. But the timing is curious. It coincides with a rise in underground theories about rogue planets, doomsday cycles, and the now infamous idea of Nibiru, a supposed planet that would collide with Earth. To be clear, there is no evidence Nibiru exists, it is pseudoscience. But the strange part, some Nibiru theorists predicted characteristics of Planet 9 decades before mainstream science took it seriously. Coincidence? Or fragments of truth buried in myth? Part 6, the outer reaches, beyond the Kuiper Belt. As we push farther out from the known planets past Pluto, past Eris, we enter the scattered disk and eventually the Oort cloud, a hypothetical sphere of icy objects surrounding the solar system. This region remains entirely uncharted. No spacecraft has gone there. No telescope has directly seen it. But many astronomers believe there are thousands, perhaps millions of objects in that region. Some as small as asteroids, others as large as Mars, maybe larger. If even one of these objects is large enough, and on an unusual orbit, it could explain the orbital clustering we observe in the Kuiper Belt. Such an object might be a super-Earth, a common type of planet in other star systems, but curiously absent from ours. Could our solar system contain one after all, hidden just out of reach? And why does this absence feel so deliberate? Why do other systems frequently have Neptune-sized planets close to their stars, while ours seems so restrained? Could it be that our early solar system was dynamically unstable and planets were ejected? Or were they hidden? Part 7. Indigenous intelligence, a dark possibility. This brings us to the most speculative theory of all. What if the hidden planet is not just massive, but inhabited? What if intelligent life evolved in the cold darkness, under the heat of internal geothermal energy, protected from cosmic radiation beneath thick, icy crusts? And what if that civilization is aware of us, but chooses to remain hidden? Some proponents of this theory, fringe though they may be, point to the deliberate silence of space, the so-called Fermi paradox. Where is everyone? Perhaps the answer is, they're closer than we think. Watching, waiting, manipulating even? Again, this is pure speculation, but it's worth noting that many ancient cultures spoke of sky gods, celestial beings, and planetary visitors. From the Dogon of West Africa to the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. Could those myths have roots in truth? Or are we merely projecting our fears onto the stars? Part 8. Future missions and the quiet race. Despite the silence, the race to find Planet 9, or whatever it may be, is underway. Telescopes like the Vera Rubin Observatory are being built with the express intent of scanning the outer solar system in unprecedented detail. Its survey capabilities may reveal faint, slow-moving objects that were previously invisible. And spacecraft like New Horizons, now beyond Pluto, are still sending back data about the farthest reaches of the solar system. Then there are classified missions, satellites we don't know the names of, telescopes funded by agencies outside the public eye. What are they looking for, and what have they already found? Part 9, conclusion, the unseen architecture. If we've learned anything from modern cosmology, it's that what we see is only a fraction of what exists. Just as dark matter is thought to make up 85% of the universe's mass, and dark energy drives its expansion, we must accept that invisibility is not evidence of non-existence. The outer solar system may be home to massive worlds, rogue giants, failed stars, or something stranger. We don't know, and that uncertainty is perhaps the most honest thing we can say, because space is not just vast, it's secretive. And whether NASA is hiding something or simply waiting until the evidence is irrefutable, the fact remains. Our solar system is not yet fully mapped, and it may never be. But until then, we watch the skies, because somewhere out there in the dark, something moves, and it doesn't want to be found. I'm your host at Elvin Archives, where we uncover the hidden, the speculative, and the unsettling truths of our universe. If you found this exploration thought-provoking, consider subscribing for more journeys beyond the known. Leave a comment below. What do you think NASA isn't telling us? Until next time, keep looking up.